What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It is Monday, so let's get into the news. There's some stuff to talk about today, some more general global news, and then some more specific news, as well as reactions to breaking news, so on and so forth. But before we do any of that, I want to give a quick shout out to the members of the channel whose lovely names are around me here. Remember, if you join the channel, you get access to exclusive videos, early access to other videos, and the ability to vote for upcoming videos. Different reviews that I'm going to be doing, you can vote for. Tell me what you want to see, tell me what you don't want to see. Recently just posted the first of those videos, the Olympus Pen EE review, so feel free to check that out. Remember, if you want to vote on the next review, join the channel and vote on the poll. You have until the end of the week to do so. And if you're a member of the channel, remember to vote as well. I would love to hear what you want to see. And if you can't do that, completely fine. Just like the video if you enjoy it, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that all the same. With that out of the way, let's get into the news. So the big news item that I kind of want to touch on briefly is the tariffs. Those are a thing that are happening according to other news sources. Mainly the tariffs are going to be targeting Canadian imports and Mexican imports. It appears as though there's going to be a 10% tariff on Chinese imports. It's something I've been talking about on this channel for quite a bit of time. However, China also came out and said that they're going to be, let me read this verbatim, China will be taking necessary countermeasures to defend their legitimate rights and interests. A lot of economists, a lot of people that know much more about this than I do, suspect that this could be the groundwork of an incoming trade war. I don't really know. All I know is that Lucky color film is not set to be released until spring, summer time. And then the Light Lens Lab film project doesn't really have an ETA. So both projects are a little bit further out on the horizon. By the time that Lucky color film is ready to ship, by the time that Light Lens Lab film is ready to ship as well, maybe this will all be sorted and it was all kind of a moot point. But I do still feel like it is interesting to kind of see how this plays out, and it's important to talk about. Okay, a quick interjection. We have two other things to talk about very quickly. One is an article from Analog Cafe on his site. I will link it down below. It details the impending tariffs, what that's going to look like for the Canadian consumer buying film from Kodak, and that would also probably relate somewhat to a consumer in Mexico or in China maybe, depending on how they react to tariffs. It's all kind of up in the air, but his piece kind of goes over in some greater detail, adds some important context, so I would check that out as well. Obviously, there's still a lot to unpack. There's a lot up in the air. And as much as I wanted to sit here and do like a very in-depth examination of the impending events, there's just not enough facts out there at the moment, and things seem to be changing on a day-to-day basis. So while there is some idea of an outline of like where things are potentially going, we still just don't really know. But it is something I'm going to keep my eyes on, and as things develop, I will be sharing that information with you. Another big bit of news. This comes from a YouTube video I just watched by, I think, Keith Cooper. I will link it down below. You can check that out. In the video, he basically states that he's been hearing some rumors that Epson is going to be discontinuing their V850 scanner, which is their like high-end scanner, and I think the only one that they still produce now. I think towards the end of the year, they're going to be phasing it out, with potentially no plans to introduce another system. I'm not super invested in the scanning world. I don't really know that much about it because there are a lot of people out there who use flatbed scanners. If it is going to be discontinued due to an inability to source parts for the CCD sensor that the scanner uses, then obviously you're going to see massive price increases in the secondhand market as demand rises, or presumably demand might rise. So if you are interested in getting a V850, I would say now is probably the time to start looking for that. I would also recommend checking out his video for more information. This is another thing I'm going to have to look into a little bit more, but this is kind of like breaking news that I wanted to talk about real quick. And now we'll get back into the rest of the news video. But on to more brighter, potentially fun news. Lomography has 2 new cameras out. And they're not really new cameras, they're just kind of reskinned versions of their older Lomo instant glass instant camera. It takes both Instax Mini and Instax Square film, has glass optics, so it's pretty sharp. And the two new models are the Pemberley and the Blues. And I believe that's just kind of in reference to the skin of the camera or the coloring of it, the design. So if you're into something like that, or you want to try instant film, but you know, the Fuji Instax Wide Evo is a little bit too steep for your budget. Both of these cameras come in at $149, which is pretty good, I suppose. So check those out. I'll put the link down below. We do have some Kodak news. They have signed Kapoor Imaging as of February 1st to their print conglomerate. Looks like they're trying to expand into the India market by way of Kapoor Imaging, which is a pretty prominent brand over there, allegedly, according to the Kodak press release. So that's kind of interesting. They seem to not be reacting too much to the Light Lens Lab news, and I don't really suspect that they would until there's like actual product on the market. There were, however, many people that were reacting to the Light Lens Lab news. In the video that I posted last week, got a lot of comments, a lot of feedback, a lot of interaction on that. The general sentiment was that people were very excited about it. There was a lot of, can't wait to see peel apart instant film, can't wait to see E6 film. There were so many positive comments about just the excitement, and we'll see how this plays out. I think it was a very good mix of tentative excitement, which is kind of where I was at with it. There was also a lot of people that were like, I don't think this is going to happen. Like, this is a lot, really biting off more than they can chew, which I also can kind of agree with. That was a pretty big list. I'm kind of curious to see how they're able to back up some of those promises that they made. I'm excited to see if there's going to be a roadmap that's released, when we can start expecting to see more updates on these projects, and maybe some transparency as to how they hope to achieve these goals. We'll have to keep an eye on that, and I will do my best to keep you all informed on those updates. But for now, I think people are pretty excited, and there's a bit of a buzz about it, which is very nice to hear. There is another new product, which is a new M-mount lens from a company called Omnar, which I've never really heard of, but the lens looks pretty cool. It is a 35 3.5 pancake lens. They're calling it the Pantessa, which I guess is short for Pancake Tessar. Kind of combine the two. It does look really cool overall. It's very, very compact. The starting price looks like it's at about 1,950 euros, but this first batch is only going to have 20 lenses, and it looks like they're trying to ship by the end of February 2025. So if you want to pre-order, I'll put the link down below and you can hop on and do that pre-order. Other news of new products: Reveni Labs Lumo light meter achieved 100% funding and then more. Actually, by the time I was editing the news video last week, it had already achieved 100, and I checked in on it just a little bit ago here, and it looks like it's at almost 50,000 of the 22,000 goal, which is very exciting. So remember, if you want to support that, you can hop on the site there. There's 21 days left. If you pledge 200 Canadian, or I think was that 138 American, you can just buy the light meter outright, which is a pretty good deal overall. Expected delivery of that is June 2025. So check out that product if you're interested. I received a prototype in the mail last week, and I will be doing a review of that in the upcoming days here, and then get to share that with you. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up today's news video. There's some stuff to talk about, not a whole lot. Overall, I think just the general question is film photography making a comeback? We're seeing a lot more hype, we're seeing a lot more buzz, we're seeing new companies pop up. There just seems to be a continued interest from both the consumer side and then more importantly from the producer side. Is this going to extend the bubble of interest that film photography has enjoyed the last few years? Truthfully, I don't know. I think it's just exciting to kind of talk about, exciting to see how things will shake out. I don't think it will ever truly reach where it was in the height, because I think things like digital cameras or phones are just still way too accessible and way too affordable for the vast majority of people. Film is no longer the sole medium. Film will always have a consumer base of people that are interested in using it, interested in exploring it, and hopefully videos like these or the review videos excite you and inspire you to try it out yourself. Pretty much it. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought, if there's any opinions you have on upcoming news. If there's anything I missed out on, again, let me know down below. All of the links will be in the description, so if you're interested in any of these particular stories, you can find out more information there. Thank you so very much for watching. Appreciate it as always. Like the video if you enjoy it, subscribe to the channel, check out my other videos as well, and I'll catch you on the next one.